Think Realty Nation, it's Abhi Golhar. Welcome to the Think Realty podcast. I am truly excited for this show, and I'm going to tell you why. One of my really good friends is going to be on in just a second, and if you don't know her, you need to get to know her. Her story is incredible, it's compelling, and it moves you to take incredible action in your life. And we'll be talking about her story and a few of the things that she's been working on over the last couple of months to the last year. And as we're kind of getting prepped here, she was like, geez, we need to catch up outside of the show. I'm like, you know what? We have to, because there's so much that is changing. There's so many different opportunities, etc. So I cannot wait to have her on in just a second. And then after that, we'll be talking about the 10 fix and flip markets where investors today are seeking big returns, and that'll take 35 to maybe 45 seconds to give you a quick rundown on that. So, that being said, the sponsor for today's podcast is brought to you, this podcast is brought to you by Residential Capital Partners, a leading hard money lender with a national scope and a local presence in each market they serve. Their partners and loan affiliates have flipped well over 1,000 properties themselves, and they know your business. You can visit them today at residentialcapitalpartners.com. My good friend Tammy Phelps is joining us now, and she, to me, is, you think about a true inspirational story, she has it. And she has done a lot with it. And she's an investor. She understands what it takes to invest in real estate and to move people to take action. She is with Capital City REIA and Lady Boss Real Estate. So, Tammy, welcome to the show.
Wow. Wait, was that me you introduced?
That's you. And I didn't even do your intro justice, I feel. There's so much more to you than what I just read. But give us a little background. Who are you? What do you do? And I'm excited. This is going to be so much fun.
Awesome. First of all, thank you. Think Realty and everybody that participates in front of the scenes and behind the scenes to make everything that we do possible. I couldn't be who I am without you. So love you guys. Love everything Think Realty. Who am I? I'm just an ordinary girl, ordinary things. And my life took and has had tremendous adversity. And at the end of the day, I'm blessed. And I wouldn't be who I am today without having experienced all that I've been through. So I decided in 10th grade that school needed me and I didn't need it. So I left. Looking back, that's where I realized my pivot, my shift was in realizing I was an entrepreneur. And so after that, fast forward, I ended up becoming a young single mom. At the age of 16, I was a single mom with 2 children by the age of 18. And that began my journey. And my kids today are extraordinary. I'm a grandma. I'm a Mimi.
Wow.
Both my kids serve their active duty in the military. My daughter's captain. And my son is with, or has just recently separated Special Forces to be a dad. And so I'm so proud of them. But it was a really long, hard journey. I was a hairdresser, a platform artist for many years. Went straight to the top in that field, was the 3rd certified master hair colorist in the country. At 22 years of age, I bought my first house. Had no clue what I was doing. Worked really hard, had all the toys and the bells and the whistles, and life was really fun. And then on June 27th, 1997, my life as I knew it forever shifted. I was hit by a drunk driver and left paralyzed. And so fighting for my life in a wheelchair for 4 years, learning how to walk again, enduring a tremendous amount of surgeries and just intense pain. They said I'd never walk normally again. I said, well, you clearly don't know who I am. And so that's for me to choose, not for you. And so I fought really hard for 4 years. I'm here, I'm up, I walk, I run, I work out with personal trainers, I swim, like life is blessed. But I do, I live with pain. But I realized in the hospital that I had a choice, that I could either be a victim of my circumstances or my circumstances could be a victim of me.
Man.
And so that's what I chose. one of my clients at the time said, Tammy, you should get into real estate. And I said, who in the heck would ever do that?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. All I've ever known is being a hairdresser. And so at that point, I had to make a decision. I had 2 young children to take care of. And so I became a realtor, and again, was Rookie of the Year, was nicknamed FSBO Queen, but there was a void. And one of my very first fun deals was a FSBO, and it happened to be a flipper, a rehabber. My idea of investing an investment property was a second house at the beach. And so I was real curious, and I said, wait a minute, I can do this. I'm a realtor. My boyfriend at the time, now my husband of 20 years, this is, he's in construction. Fast forward, did all the wholesaling, did all the flipping, made all the mistakes, realized that that was just another glorified job. And so really decided to get into multi-unit investing when some of my coaches who are no longer here said, look, kid, if you really want to learn the secret to wealth, it's about cash flow. And the way to do that is through passive income. Yeah. And I had no idea what that meant. Yeah. And so I started diving into my education. I am an educational junkie. I'm a fanatic about learning and immersing myself.
Yeah,
and
I can't tell that at all, just based on the books that you have in the background there. I mean, like, you've got hundreds of books behind you. So you hate learning. You just seem like a person. Yes.
You're my favorite. So obviously now Audible is my favorite because I live on the road so much. But last night I did the most amazing webinar, a live interview with a young 28-year-old who's now acquiring his 9th unit, a 5-unit building. And we were talking about emerging markets. Yep. And so this is behind me, my best of my best. But learning is just, it's incredible. Networking, building relationships. And so today, I'm just so blessed. My husband and I have multiple very, very large communities in several different states, from apartment buildings to mobile home communities. And it's amazing. I manage my team. My husband manages his team. We retired him at 51. And I became a grandma this year to 2 grandbabies. And I get up every day and serve. I ask God, the universe, every day, whose life do I get to impact today? Sometimes it's a seller. Sometimes it's one of my students, one of my inner circle members. Sometimes it's one of my residents. Sometimes it's just a stranger. But what I've learned, Abhi, is that there's no secret to what we do, but what I got, and when I got it, it was powerful, that the more that we serve, the more that God, the universe, opens opportunities up for us. And so I just serve. That's what I do. I build communities and I serve. I won, what was it? I was nominated and then won. I can't believe it because that's like so not me. I won the Commercial Real Estate Investor of the Year a year and a half ago. And we just won 2019 Best Real Estate Educational REIA in the DMV. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
well done.
We serve, we're here, we
that's
give.
Incredible.
That's what we do. Yeah, that's my story.
So
I'm sticking to it.
Yes, I mean, you do a lot, and in the 3 or 4 minutes that you had to kind of go through your story, I mean, there's a lot there, and like, wow, not a lot of people would even want to. They would lose the will to fight to learn to walk, and it's an understatement to say that you use that every single day. So that's incredible. I know we have like maybe, I don't know how much more time we have, quite frankly, at this point. I don't really care. We're just going to keep talking. There are a couple things that I want to talk about. One is the Lady Boss Real Estate, the Shepreneur Movement. What is that? And help me understand that. Because that's like, I'm a huge advocate for more women in the real estate space. We need more women investors because, let's face it, women are better than men at investing money. I just know that to be true, and that's just the way it is. So what kind of, what,
I don't know
and
if
you
I
are.
totally
Yes.
agree with that. But we all have skills and talents and strengths and weaknesses, right?
Yes. So what is this movement, and what pushed you to start it?
what pushed me to start it, Abhi, is that from the front of the room, right, our view is different than being in the audience, which I was in for years. And what I saw was a disconnection of women who would put their hand here, not up, where they would wait to speak to me or wait to ask questions. And like myself, as a young single mom, I realized that it is what it is. It's a male dominated industry. You know, there's a lot of movement going on around women. Women are extraordinary. I'm not a feminist, but I believe in, you know, tapping into whoever you are, you know, your innate talents and abilities to be everything that you can be. And I've just noticed that women, especially in the real estate space, are afraid of taking ownership and being a boss and being fierce and being proud and, you know, disrupting the patterns and the cycles of what we've ever known and resisting all the naysayers and, you know, believing and having the faith that they can do this. And so Lady Boss Real Estate it came. And it's about doing deals and heels. And it literally, what it is it's a contrarian movement to revolutionize and promote women in our real estate industry. And in addition to Capital City REIA, which is our real estate investment association, we are building up Lady Boss Real Estate. And we will be focusing on not just real estate, but the whole woman, whether it's life, whether it's health, whether it's creating wealth, whether it's being a mom, doing balance, time management. So we're really focusing on the whole woman. And as a woman, how do we successfully invest when we're doing all of these things in real estate? My battery's dying. Sorry, I forgot to plug it in. That we do. Yeah. And I've been doing surveys and there's so much excitement around it. And so we're building it up. And I cannot wait to push this out there in 2020 and to create a movement to empower women to stand in their power and be the awesome women that they are, that I see every day that they're capable of being.
I love that, stand in their power. That's really, really cool. What is, and I've taken a couple notes. I looked you up. I've been stalking you in preparation for this. What is Disrupt and Resist 2020?
Every year, for the past 10 years, one of my spiritual coaches, we always sit and talk about 2 to 4 very powerful words that will define the year.
Okay.
And for me, I see a lot of people stuck in a pattern. And until we break and disrupt the pattern, usually it's mindset, but until we disrupt that pattern, until we disrupt the status quo, until we disrupt our way of thinking, until we disrupt our way of being, then a year from now, we're still going to be doing the exact same thing that we are today, just saying, I want to be an investor. I want to create wealth. But until you disrupt what your current state of mindset and physical being is, there is not going to be change. And so 2020 is a huge movement with CC REIA and Lady Boss Real Estate about acknowledging, becoming aware of what the patterns and the cycles are in your life, and then taking a stand to disrupt them. Resist is about resisting what is or resisting what was. Yep. And again, standing in your power to be more than what you've ever known for you to be. Resisting the naysayers, resisting the dream stealers, resisting all the sensational TV, you know, resisting everybody that says, oh, why would you do that? Real estate's too hard. It doesn't work. You know, resisting and turning that resistance into belief and faith. Because if you believe and if you have the faith, anything is possible.
Love it. 30 seconds on due diligence. What are your thoughts? Is it important right now, or should we just buy anything that we want willy-nilly without doing our homework? Seems like a pretty easy answer. But what are you seeing out there? Because this is obviously something that's important to you.
I am a due diligence fanatic. I'm
Yes.
known for due diligence. We could go on for a whole week about it. It is absolutely, positively
Yeah.
critical. It's paramount at any level, whether it's due diligence on education, due diligence on lenders, due diligence on properties. So many investors get so excited in the emotion of the thought of the desperation that they have a deal and they finally can say, I have a deal, but they don't understand due diligence. It's not taught. It's not the sexy subject of wholesaling or flipping, but it is the core foundation of what creates success is following checklists and being very diligent, trusting, but verifying, following up, and pulling as much emotion back as you can and getting the facts and making sure that you're making the right choice. Due diligence is a whole nother conversation, and it's so critical. Yes.
Yep. 1,000% right. It's interesting. The emotion of desperation is a fantastic way to describe what's happening right now. And people are so desperate for a deal, they're willing to do absolutely anything, and they're willing to overlook the dangers of the deal just to get the deal done. So be very careful. Tammy, 30 seconds on what you feel is shifting in the market, in your market today.
Abhi, it actually goes with what you just said, is that we spend a lot of time understanding markets and market cycles because most investors don't, right? They go to a seminar, they go get a deal, they fix the deal, they flip the deal, they wholesale the deal, and then they move on to it. Yep. And they don't understand that there's cycles within the market, and then there's strategies as a real estate investor. And if you aren't understanding or have your finger on the pulse of a market, when a market is when a market is possibly shifting, or where in the market cycle we are. So obviously real estate is very challenging right now. It's very difficult to find good deals. Why is that? A lot of investors just don't know. All they say is, I can't find any deals. It's really, really hard. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. They're not doing anything wrong. They just don't understand that we're at the very top of a market cycle. We're due for a shift.
That's right.
Shifts occur about every 10 years. We're 12 years from the last market cycle shift.
Wait, we had a last market cycle shift? What was that?
2007, when our market collapsed.
Yeah, so what's funny is I feel like sometimes people have amnesia. And they're like, of course. I can't remember the last time the market crashed. Must have been in the 50s. Wait a minute. Right? Like, no, 2007, 2008, that actually happened. Let's not violate our buying criteria and just say, oh, yeah, let's not, let's take these lessons that we've learned and actually use them.
Yeah. And so we're spending a lot of time right now in fourth quarter 2019 as we are getting ready for 2020 about we are on the verge of a very big market shift. And, we don't know exactly when it's going to occur. There's been speculation about it. But as an investor, you have to understand and then adjust the sails on your ship for where we are in a market cycle. So right now, it's very challenging to be a wholesaler and to be a fix and flip because it's hard to find deals.
Right.
They're out there. They're still out there. You just have to look harder. But if you don't understand that and you then don't shift your own investment strategies, it makes it very tough. And one of the things that my coaches taught me years and years ago is that you have to diversify. You have to diversify your portfolio, diversify your strategies, and you have to know when it's a good time to buy and hold, when it's a good time to sell, just like the stock market, right? So
that's right.
A lot of time on that, and investors really, really need to understand that they must understand not only what the different, like Dave Lindahl says, what the different cycles are, but what the market cycles are doing on a national level, on a regional level, and on a local geographical level, so that you can then determine what you should be focused on.
That's right. Tammy Phelps with Capital City REIA, Lady Boss Real Estate. Thank you so much. What's the best way to get in touch if we have any questions, want to reach out and say hi and continue to be inspired by your story?
Awesome. Thank you. You can check us out and find us at Capital, CAPITAL, Capital City REIA.com. That's our website. Hello at Capital City REIA.com. Of course, we're all over Meetup, Capital City REIA. We're all over all the social media platforms. Capital City REIA is our handle. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we're everywhere. We're very active in that space and would love to hear from you. Would love to set up an opportunity, have an opportunity to set up a time to talk. Thank you so much for having us here, for allowing us to be a part of this magical life called real estate investing. I can't imagine doing, being, and having anything else. It's a blessed life.
You're such a rock star. Tammy, thank you so much. It's always a fun time with you. Think Realty Nation. This next segment is brought to you by Real Property Management, which is the largest residential property management franchise in North America, managing tens of thousands of properties for individuals, investors, and institutions throughout the country. Learn more at realpropertymgt.com. All right, I got a top 10 list here for you. The top 10 list of the fix and flip markets for investors seeking big returns. And this is a Realtor.com report. You can go to Realtor.com and view this entire report if you would like. But what Realtor.com did is it analyzed the number of investment home sales in the 100 largest metropolitan areas and picked the top 10. So, real quick. Number 10, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Number 9, Columbus, Ohio. Number 8, Orlando, Florida. And quite frankly, I have been looking at Columbus, Ohio, even though I'm a Michigan guy, for opportunities. And there's some pretty insanely good opportunities in Columbus. So number 8, Orlando. Number 7, Phoenix, Arizona. Number 6, Las Vegas, Nevada. Number 5, Memphis, Tennessee. 4, Tampa, Florida. 3, Miami, Florida. Whew, love that heat in Miami. Number 2, Birmingham, Alabama. And Birmingham, Alabama is kind of interesting. I like Birmingham. Maybe I'll do a show on that at some point. But it's a really, really good city to invest in. And the number 1, St. Louis, Missouri. The median home sale price in St. Louis is $189,900, and the percentage of investment property sales in St. Louis is coming in at about 18.8%. So, that being said, pick your markets, and as Tammy said, you have to know what's going on nationally, regionally, in your city, and then of course in your community. Without the right due diligence, your deals just won't get done. Think Realty Nation, it's a wrap. This entire podcast has been brought to you by Residential Capital Partners, a leading hard money lender with a national scope and a local presence in each market they serve. Their partners and loan affiliates have flipped well over 1,000 properties themselves. They know your business. How cool is that? Make sure to visit them today at residentialcapitalpartners.com. You want to get in touch? Check us out. Go to thinkrealty.com. You can hit me up anywhere online, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Huge fan of these 3 platforms, and as well as TikTok right now at Abhi Golhar. Until next time, happy investing.